Alright, here's my full Stranger Things theory, start to finish. I don't think Henry was born evil. I don't think he was chosen. I think Henry stumbled into the Mind Flayer, and the Mind Flayer stumbled into Henry. The Mind Flayer is not a villain with a voice or an ideology. It doesn't give speeches. It doesn't explain itself. It's a parasite. A parasite that requires a host. Its needs are simple: control, uniformity, and the erasure of will. As a parasite, it survives by hijacking minds, by dragging a host's subconscious fears and nightmares to the surface and making those fears the dominant personality while burying the real self underneath. And that's what Vecna is. Vecna isn't Henry. Vecna is Henry after the parasite replaces identity with fear. Think about this. When Henry is talking to Eleven, listen to how he speaks about humans. He calls them pests. He talks about wiping them out for order, for balance. That doesn't sound like another human speaking. That sounds like another entity speaking through a human. That language is alien. That's not trauma. That's infestation. And Henry's still there, trapped deep in his subconscious, just like Billy was, just like Will was, but Henry fell much further. Now let's talk about the spider. I don't think Henry was obsessed with spiders. I think the parasite was drawn to the spider because the spider represents exactly what it is: a predator, a solitary controller, a creature that builds webs, not chaos, a being that enforces orders and eliminates what it sees as pests. The spider isn't Henry's symbol, it's the parasite's nature leaking through him. Henry's obsession with clocks doesn't feel human either. It doesn't feel like trauma. It feels like confusion. It feels like the parasite trying to understand a world that operates inside rules it doesn't recognize. What if the Mind Flayer's world exists outside of time? No days, no weeks, no months, no linear progression. And then it encounters the human world built entirely on arbitrary time structures. Clocks, schedules, deadlines, a beginning and an end. It isn't order, it's noise. So time becomes an obsession, not because Henry hates time, but because the parasite cannot comprehend it. The ticking isn't fear, it's dissonance. Now here's the turning point: 11. Before 11, the parasite could invade minds, but it couldn't fully cross worlds on its own. It needed hosts, it needed accidents, it needed open gates. But when 11 banished Henry into Dimension X, she didn't just exile him, she sent him back powered. That's when the parasite learned something new. Vecna could create portals. Vecna stopped being just a host. He became an artery, a conduit. From that moment on, the plan changes. The parasite doesn't just want possession anymore. It wants independence. It wants a physical form. Once it has a body, it no longer needs hosts. In physical form, it can consume minds and bodies, absorb the world into itself, and enforce total uniformity. That pulsating heart-like structure that we keep seeing, that's not a brand new monster. That's the parasite trying to be born. Vecna thinks he's becoming some sort of deity. In reality, he's serving as the final host, the artery feeding something that would erase him too. Will survives something Henry didn't. Fear works on the subconscious. Love restores identity. That's why memory breaks possession. That's why connection keeps winning. Love doesn't defeat the Mind Flayer because it's good. Love defeats it because it restores will. And will is the one thing a hive mind cannot assimilate. If will can bring Henry back, even briefly, then the artery collapses. So you need me to repeat all that?